Hello, and welcome to the monthly, there's Sierra, a mentoring moment at Ema's table. We're so glad all of the ladies are here with us this morning, and we're glad that you're going to be watching this video at some point. The monthly is just simply, it's a group of us ladies. We can talk about some things because we've been through some things, and we get together to encourage each other, hopefully to encourage you as well. Please visit the website, www.starcommunity.online. We are a part of the STAR community. We support trauma awareness, so please visit the website. And while you're on the website, Sierra, can you call your brother and tell him we're recording, because he's calling me on the phone and he don't usually call, so please see what's up. Thank you. And while you're on the website, check out each one of the ladies that contributed to our Me Time calendar. We have a calendar. All of the ladies that are participating with this monthly call contributed a quote for our calendar. I don't have the calendar with me. It's in my purse somewhere, but and that's what we get every month. We just come on, we talk about those quotes a little bit more in depth, again, to hopefully offer you some encouragement. Also on our website, check out the link, Embrace Pangea. We have set up Star Community now as an affiliate, so please go on and
Danielle's got the calendar on her screen.
The Me Time motivational calendar. Just some encouragement. Most of I think just about everyone on here, maybe a couple of us that are not actually in the calendar, because we tried to focus on the younger, brilliant ladies, and they all contributed quotes. And we we'll come back to that, right? But so please, the calendars are all sold out, so we don't have any more of those, but that's what we're sort of going through, our motivational process, monthly motivation with that. But click the link, Embrace Pangea. We have set up as affiliates, and any purchases that you make from Embrace Pangea supports the STAR community. So please do that. So what we usually do on these little morning chats is we just have everybody say hello, good morning. You can tell us a little bit about your organization or your group or your ministry or your business or what have you. Then we're going to end up with Mishunda, because this month we are discussing her contribution to the calendar, and we're going to have Mishunda share with us her thoughts, kind of what that quote was saying to her, and maybe just a little bit of encouragement to help you. We're going to talk about the quote when we get there. I'll read the quote, or you can read the quote when we get there. So let's start. Good morning, Kimberly. Do you have to leave? Because I want to make sure you get to say good morning.
I'm going to say good morning, and I do have to pop out, but it's a pleasure and an honor to be amongst Nubian queens and princesses, knowing that our voices are needed in the community, and the way that we present whatever it is, the energy that's being brought from above, because I believe it's God-given to our community, to enhance it, to empower it, to eradicate the illiteracies of a lot of different areas. That is the purpose for which we are going to be embarking upon. And I thank each and every one of you for acknowledging and then taking on the assignment to do something about it, to go forward. Because quite oftentimes we become aware of situations, but we take no action. So I'm very proud and pleased to see that we have some soldiers, some sister soldiers among us. You understand what I'm saying? And that we're going to go forward, and that the relationships that are being made here, we can extend them throughout our community to strengthen our community. And one of my favorite sayings now is, we're going to connect the dots.
Thank you, ma'am. You just made me realize we're hopefully, coming out of the pandemic. We're not going to come too fast, but that just sparked something. It's time for a gathering of the hot mamas. So we'll get to that
That's right.
by the end of the year. Okay, who's next? Who's next? Who's next? I'm so glad Danielle is doing what she's doing in that kitchen because we
Yeah,
really jump on her herbs. Okay, but we're gonna come to that. Who's next? Who wanna be next? Demetra, say hey, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Demetrius Douglas. It is such a pleasure to be part of some phenomenal women. It's early. I have late nights and early mornings. So excuse the voice, but it's a pleasure. I am owner of Bake with Love bakery here in Graniteville, South Carolina. That is my passion. Anytime you need some desserts, I have tapped into the vegan arena since last year, so that has been inspiring. I got some unique treats coming along that line. I'm also owner of Complete Care Solutions. I'm an insurance broker, and a broker means I have access to all carriers. I fit the need of my client. I just did a major signage with Aflac, so I now can offer Aflacs to my brokerage, which was like major for me. I've been working on that some time. So small businesses can now get some opportunities by way of me. And I have one little small thing that's coming hopefully in September. So I'll be looking forward to sharing that with you guys. But my insurance brokerage is growing. So if y'all have any questions or need to do a review or anything of the sorts, please do contact me.
Okay, yay. Who wants to go next? Thank you, Demetrius. Vanessa and then Danielle and then Sierra. Okay.
all righty. Congratulations, first of all, ladies. Rise and shine. And congratulations, sister whose insurance company is booming. Getting on with Aflac is amazing. So congratulations to you. I want to make sure that we share that information. We don't realize how much we need those services. And I've used those services. And so my hats off to you. So I'm Vanessa Lindsay. And I am just enjoying life this morning. And I am so thankful to be here with you beautiful, beautiful melanated women. There ain't nothing like having melanated women with my melanated coffee. While I'm laying in my melanated bed. So anyway, so I am Vanessa Lindsay, and what I am excited because I am here to help people learn how to write grants and get that funding. There's $1 billion industry out there for us to reach out and help our other people, help diamonds in the rough. Our people are like diamonds, and they're just in this rough, and I help people help them so they could pull them diamonds out of that rough and smooth them out so we can make our community a beautiful and better community. Because we know in Africa, that's where these diamonds come from, and that's where we came from. Them diamonds came from here, and they're buried, and it's like, come on, y'all. Let's bring them out. So I want to show people how to start their nonprofit growth and how to write grants. And so right now I'm teaching how to write federal grants. I'm not talking about the lower level. I will take you out to the top, and then you can go on down and write the smaller ones. And so that's who I am. Let's build our community. Let's build each other. Let's do let's work for ourselves. And that's our goal. Let's get out of the system. So that's Vanessa. So thanks for having me, Miss Cynthia. Miss Rise and Shine.
Come on, Miss Danielle, with some of them herbs that's gonna make me thin, rich, and beautiful. Come on, girl.
Excuse me, I forgot the time. I'm about to go feed some people, so that's why you see me double. I'm trying to, but So I'm Danielle Resper. It might say Danielle. Presume that's going to change. I'm Danielle Resper. I'm the owner of Blossoms Healing. Which is, it started out as, just herbs, but I'm also, I'm a vessel of God. So it's basically including everything I do is under the umbrella of Blossoms of Yahweh. So that includes basically mental health, emotional health, physical health, of course, spiritual health. And so I of course, I believe in natural healing herbs. Also, of course, prayer. And I'm focused on a lot on mental health. So those are like the areas that I focus on. So you can get more information about me through my website, www.blossomshealing.com. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening. So I don't want to just like go down the list, but there is a lot of stuff that I've been doing. Mainly specifically now focusing a lot on mental health and prayer. So that's where I'm at. Of course, I'm always gonna be the herb lady, but I'm lately, God has been having me to focus more on mental health and prayer and just tackling or addressing the areas that people don't talk about. And I wrote a whole book about it, but God has brought me back to that and saying, you need to talk about it, because if you're dealing with it, you know, there's other people dealing with it too in the body of Christ. And it can lead to people going crazy because they're like, how is this happening to me? But I know Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. So it's just like, you know, he says our people perish for lack of knowledge of him. So we can perish in our mind or perish in confusion and all of that because we don't know who he is. So that's where I'm at right now. But of course, yes, I am still the herb lady, but I don't have herbs right here. I'm about to go feed, I'm making some sandwiches, but it's not too far off.
Well, I don't know, we'll get into a conversation at some point regarding demonic activity and our mental health. We probably will on or off this Zoom, because this is why we do this, you know, because I know each of you individually and we have the richest conversations. But at some point, maybe we will get to that. Okay, yeah, hey Sierra. Hey Cece.
Hi, Mom. Good morning, everyone. I am Sierra Mitchell, aka Cynthia Mitchell's daughter, aka my creative name is Lotsy Marie. So I am an actress, a dancer, and I am also an herbalist like my sister Danielle. For pushing me down the right path and getting my herbalist certification. As far as herbs are concerned, God has been dealing with me as far as herbs, and I'm leaning more towards a focus of like women's health, especially dealing with certain womanly issues in our womanly area, trying to keep it as respectful as possible in this Zoom. But you know, dealing with certain areas as far as that. So I am currently working on some things to go ahead and start back working as far as the herbalist aspect of my gift. Again, I'm also an actress. I recently got called to do a dramatic monologue in Savannah. I will do a dramatic monologue speaking from a perspective as a Black woman in America. And the beautiful thing about this performance and why I chose to do it is because I will be performing at the first African church in Savannah, Georgia, that was built by my ancestors. And it was also a pillar and a safe haven for the Underground Railroad. There are actual holes in the floor where the enslaved people were traveling, they would be able to breathe and rest and get a place of fresh air. So I am definitely looking forward to that, to be able to stand foot in such a momentous place. Like, honestly, I have no words currently. So that will be that. And then soon I'll also be looking forward to adding author my list of titles. I'm hoping to release my book by early fall. So I've been in the process of writing that. So my website is iamloxymarie.com. You can keep up with me through there, and also Loxy Marie on all social media platforms.
Yay. We've got
Nice.
who said
Before
something?
I leave, Ms. Mitchell, this was Kimberly. Before I leave, I would like to say that I am a lifestyle coach, nationally certified, which we focus on pre-diabetic concerns, male and female. Anybody that's been diagnosed as being a pre-diabetic, we want to do everything we can to get you to prevent the type 2 from coming into place. I have a class that meets every Thursday at 6:30 on virtual. If anybody interested, please put in the chat your information, or you can text me at 803-716-0489 to become a part of it. And if it's not for yourself, it's anybody that you know that this knowledge would help, I would love to be able to help them in that area. And I forgot the young lady, I think it's Sister Demetrius. I am also a financial professional and coach, a legacy coach, a legacy developer. And we are definitely one of the biggest things that we are learning in the area, in the field, is that we as a race of people, we know how to go and work and make money, but we don't know how to make money work. And that's one of the things that we want to eradicate, because the Bible says the love of money is the root of all things, not money itself. Is what you put before it and what you use it toward. So if we can educate people, it's 24 states out of the 50 states that even offer it, financial education in the high schools, and only 6 mandated. So it's an area that we want to cover in America, especially because this is where we live, but people all over the world, all walks of life, if we can educate them at a young age, it'll grow up in them just like anything else. We have a lot of people, we talking young people, who have a mentality about making money, but they don't know how to make money work for them. And those are the things that are so very important. If we can get them to do it at a younger age, when they become the eligible age for retirement, they can be in a better place and they can learn to live and not just merely exist. Right. With that being said, Sister Mitchell, I'm going to exit at this time. I love each and every one of you. And Sister Demetrius, please, 803-716-0489. And what's Miss Vanessa, please, 803-716-0489. I would like to connect with you ladies at this particular time. It'll probably be some more later on, but those two, because of the similarities in our efforts to make our communities stronger, okay? I love you all. God bless you. And I'm going to say love, peace, and soul. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, yeah, y'all know that's a lot of reasons why we do this. Because again, I'm in pockets and I connect with so many powerful women, and we just kind of we're putting it all together. So today, our quote, I don't know where's my calendar? Well, I know what the quote says. I know what it says right here. So sage and wonderful woman of wisdom, Mishunda, shared with us for the month of May, the quote, "I am not confused about my lanes nor value." Now, y'all, let me tell you, I'm a lot older than Mishunda. And I'm thinking, oh, at her age, she's figured this out. And I just figured this out last week. Mishunda, would you introduce yourself and just talk to us a little bit about the inspiration for those words?
Hi. Hi, my name is Mishunda May Wallace, hail out of Kansas City. And I don't know how much I can say. I really felt like the call was over after all those wonderful introductions and everything else everybody else said. I'm like, okay, that's a wrap. That's that on that. How am I gonna follow all these things? We got historical slave churches, Underground Railroad. We got Danielle over there. with the herbs and all of that, apparently that gets you rich. Cynthia said she got the herbs that get me slim and rich. I said, wait a minute. I didn't know Danielle was running them kind of herbs. There's too much going on. But Nessa over there with all the melanated world. She got melanated bed, melanated coffee, melanated whip, everything melanated. Come on, all black everything. And then Demetrius over there getting all the money for the people. Well, no, Demetrius ain't getting the money. Demetrius doing all the fake. Okay, so I'll always say, I'll say it every single time, and I don't have any problem with it because I'm not confused about my lane or my values. I'm just in these streets. I'm in these streets. What am I in these streets doing? I'm probably dancing. I could be writing. I could be poeting. I could be working out. I could be teaching. I could be doing any number of things. But just because I'm doing a lot of things doesn't mean I don't know my lane, right? Being apostolic, I know a lot of the things that I do is I seed plant. I start things, and I start things in people. Catch that. It's different if you just start things and don't finish, but you should be starting things in people. You should be stirring things up in people. Not being confused about my lanes. Actually, I remember when it came up. It was really birthed from my sewing ability, right? Everybody want me to go into business. Everybody everywhere trying to get me to sell these beautiful clothes, they say, or my dance garments, or my flags, or whatever else it is I decide to make on any given day. And there's a lot of pressure to do those things that you are good at, or to monetize those things that you are good at. And I just didn't feel compelled to succumb to that, to be perfectly honest. It's at the same time, if I do sell an item, I do offer an item for purchase, I'm not upset about what I say that item is worth. The time that went into it, the expertise that goes into it. If we're talking about garments and for dance, the prayer and the blessing that went into it, the sacrifice that went into it. So no, ma'am, I don't have life all figured out, but I'll tell you what I do know. I am not confused about my lane nor my value. And when I say lane, I think sometimes people think about a race, right? We think about running a race. And to me, that it's not so much about running as if I'm in competition. It's about knowing my course, my journey, and what that looks like for me. Not deviating outside of my lane to be something someone else wants me to be. I'm real clear on who I am, very, very clear, and unapologetic about it. Unapologetic. Like it, don't like it, I'm cool either way. I like my lane, and I like the people in my lane traveling with me. Yeah, that's where it comes from.
So you were talking, and a couple of thoughts sparked, and I think this is just really how these conversations go. You say something, it hits something. You use the word apostolic, and you talk about lanes and gifting. You talked about dance, but you talked about the sewing. So here's one thing that I think is important to note, and we really bring out.
Mm-hmm.
When we think, I'm gonna start with apostolic. We think church. We get, and I don't care if it's non-denominational or whatever but we think we get in church mind and mode. I have come to understand that all of the apostolic giftings, anointings, the talents, the resources, they are really made for outside the marketplace, the community. So I think even when you say, okay, I know my lane, it doesn't mean that I'm a church girl and, phenomenal, and I go and we're gonna all over the world and we're doing this. No, that's part of it.
That's part of it.
Yeah, we bring all of the all of the attributes, all of the lessons learned. You know, I did learn this a long time ago. The things that we go through, this is really not even about us anyway, because we are dispatched here to deposit and to leave some stuff.
That's
And
right.
if I just leave the part of me that functions inside the church, or just inside what I think about as apostolic, I've missed it, because it's so much more. We have deposits that we have to leave in this earth. So I don't know if anybody else has anything to say, because you know, when we start talking, just thoughts, just things just start dropping. Danielle, I see you came back. You want to say something?
Yes. First of all, I'm just so grateful. I know I'm swallowed up with bags now, but I'm just grateful because when I hear you talking, I've always felt connected to you, Mishunda, but because I just see just like the same quirkiness and just like the same thing, like it spoke to me. So it's just like, I do all this stuff, and I really do it. Like I would do it for free. Like, and you know, like even when I tell people that, they be like, well, no, you know, I understand knowing your worth and your value, but like Miss Cynthia said, like that's something I just want to give. There's some things that I'm not gonna give for free. But there are other things, even if I know it took me value, but I'm learning is not my time. Is really what my time is for giving it back to God. So if I want to sew something that took me hours to make and I want to give it away for free, that's like, what's wrong with that? If I, you know, like
nothing is wrong with that, Danielle. You so spot on. We are kindred in that respect. Anybody who knows me as a dancer probably can tell you I have given them a garment.
Right here.
I listen, I don't want to monetize that gift necessarily. I truly don't. And knowing your value doesn't necessarily mean knowing the monetary value. Sometimes knowing your value is knowing that the value of what you bring, give, deposit is so much more valuable than the dollar you might have charged for it. My real value is in what I deposited in the person, not what they put in my pocket. That's my value. I'm done.
So we're bringing, no, I was gonna say we're bringing the balance, because now I believe, you know, that when you begin to pray, especially when you pray about finances, you begin to pray about stewardship and all of that. If the Most High downloads to you a business idea or what have you, you can't be afraid to place that monetary. So there is balance in that, because so many times, you know, we pray for, well, again, we'll pray, we need money or whatever. And then you're sitting there and you're sewing, you're making a garment, you're doing something, and really what the Most High said, money right there.
Like sis.
And there's a difference between putting a monetary value on yourself and a monetary value on your service.
That's
there
exactly
should be
right.
most people say, oh, I know what I'm worth. Well, you should be worth priceless, because you're priceless to the Most High. But your service, that's where you put the monetary value on, is that product, but not yourself.
That's
so there's a big difference between the two.
And what I also was going to say is, me personally, everything that Mishunda has said, I have been like pretty much a living testament of that, because Mishunda is someone who consistently deposits into me in some way, shape, or form. I've been fortunate and blessed to receive, you know, garments. And honestly, I would not be the dancer that I am today had it not been for her. She has never asked or required any monetary thing of me, because she knows her lane and she stays in it. She knows that she's depositing something that's priceless, pretty much something that's going to last a lifetime. So all I can say is thank you. I know, look, I know, I mean, that's really all I can say. And I think honestly, her return on said investment is watching that seed grow.
That's
She
yeah.
planted.
That's good. And to your mother's, to Cynthia's and Vanessa's point about the balance, they're right. They're right. Vanessa's exactly right. The value was on the, I'm sorry, the monetary value is on the service, not on me as a person. But how do I strike the balance? How do I know the difference? How do I know what to give and what to charge? How do I know what to give and what to sell? What I give, this is why I'm talking about, this is where I say know my lane. I trust God that the seed I plant in what was a service will grow in another, will grow for me somewhere else, right? He's going to tell me, he didn't tell me sewing was my business. I know that's not the lane. I know that's not the lane, because as long as I sow here, God will supply all of my needs according to his riches and glory somewhere else, because that's not the lane. He didn't say it, and nobody's going to tell me that he did. It's not, I'm not hearing, it's not, I'm not asking, because we do that. Vanessa's so right. Vanessa said it's so right. You'll be sitting there, you have the gift in your hand. I think it was Moses, God said, he's at this right, like use what's in your hand. Use what's in your hand. And I think it was Kimberly that says, we know how to make money, but we don't know how to make money work. So I know how to make all these garments. Why don't you go get this money? Why don't you get this money, boo? I know the timing. I'm in tune with the Lord. We talk, and he tell me, he'd be like, boo, I'm gonna need you to go out there and get these coins, because there have been seasons where I have those things for sale, but there are specific moments where it is not. And I am not confused about those at all. That's all I can say.
And that just boils down to relationship. It's like, how you gonna tell me about my relationship with the Most High? I know what he said to me.
I know.
But that was, that was just about what I was about to say was, so how do we boil down and sort of come to understanding? How do I begin to understand what my lane is? How do I know that? And then my value, because not that I can't say that I struggle, but I see different situations, and I'm careful because I don't want to say anything that identifies anybody's situation. But I see different things in my daily life, and I go, wow. I don't know at what point we got to the point that it's okay for you to knock me upside my head and leave lumps on my head. So and I grieve, because I think I especially young ladies, because I see both sides. I see a lot of different things, but in particular, young ladies, I just grieve and wonder about the process, and how do we think that this is okay, and we allow these things to happen. And it's because we have not taken the time, I think, to do some soul searching and some real, again, to understand my worth, my lane. I'm not a punching bag. That's not my lane. So I like I said, I see so many different situations, and it really, really grieves me to see our beautiful young ladies, still not having that. And I think it goes back kind of to what Miss Kimberly said, and I know we all do it in our individual. I know we do, because I know all of everybody on this call, but just kind of getting a little bit more visible. Demetrius and Kimberly talking more about that wealth building, legacy building. Sierra, Mishunda, Danielle in particular, in your age group of young ladies, just being who you are, showing up. And then they look and go, whoa, just like Danielle said, and I've seen it with all three of you, a connection, because you see something, but it was simply because you showed up. So we just have to show up again in the marketplace, in the community. We just got to show up and be, so that we can with our other young ladies that make me cry sometimes. Yeah.
You asked the question. There was so much that we could talk about. That really, we just talk about value for the rest of the call, and that would be enough. But you asked, how do we come to know that value. And you hit right on it in my opinion, which is the soul work. Because we have to ask the question, and this is how I can say confidently and smiling and not even would flutter a little bit, because I asked. I looked inside. God and I have discussed it. And I asked God, am I afraid to win? Am I afraid to try? Am I afraid to put myself out there? Because if you don't know that, then you don't know if it's your lane. You don't know for sure your value. You don't know for sure if this is the business. So I've got to challenge myself. And the soul work will tell me, yeah, you do got a little bit of fear. You got a little bit of fear. And that's why you give it away, because you don't know. You don't think it's valuable. And because this is why you don't think it's valuable. You don't think it's valuable because they didn't value you as a child. And you'll see all these things starting to pull together. But once you do that work, then I can sit here and say, yeah, I can give these garments away because I'm not confused about my lane or my value. I can give those away. I can give this away. And we're talking about money right now. We're talking about marketplace right now, but we could also put this on my value as a human, my value as a woman, my value as a minister, my value as an employee. Not being confused about your value there. I ain't saying I'm not confused in all of those. What I'm saying is I do the work to try to be sure of my value there. So I'm not about to sit here in a relationship. I don't care if it's business, friend, family, whatever, and not know the value I have in it. I bring something to it.
Yes.
I bring something to it, and I should get something out of this. You cannot treat me any kind of way. Just because they did it then doesn't mean I'm going to accept it now. Just because they did it then doesn't mean that you are doing it now. I'm making you pay for what they did. I'm gonna stop that. I'm gonna stop that.
Yeah. I was looking for something to throw.
Throw it.
I couldn't find. I don't know how to do the thing in there because y'all know me with technology. I'll be to click the whole call. So I said, I dare not.
I can't click that either.
That's so powerful. I'm just like, okay, you better preach this morning. But it brings me to the point of when I reflect back on myself and when I was branding my business, and being more in the public eye, because I'm an introvert unless it's business. When it's business, I know my lane. I know how to work a room. I know the conversational path. And these are the things that I speak life in me. But before I speak for self, I always say God anointed and appointed me for certain positions. And I hold them accordingly. And I will leave things as you say, I serve a big God. He tells me I can have the desires of my heart as long as they're lined up according to his will and what his desires are for my life. And that's my stance. And when you say talk about bringing value, that's one of my slogans for Complete Care Solutions is I bring value. It's my goal to make sure every life that I come in contact with or encounter to bring more value than you had when I leave. To bring, if it's knowledge, if it's a savings on your plans from Medicare to bring more income into your household, if it's to teach you about the purpose of life insurance, we've been taught differently what life insurance is for. It's for our children's children. It's to start the opportunity to build legacy and wealth and to just be able to educate. It's so depressing to me in my lane that makes me drive even harder that we got to sell chicken to put our loved ones. Two things for sure about life. We're born and we're going to die. So plan accordingly. But I can't just verbalize that in that tense. I can have that conversation amongst us because we have the knowledge to receive such things. So you have to be able to position yourself well and be mindful who you're speaking to so they can understand it. So I try to get to know my clients. So I'm devoted to helping you no matter what your situation is. When it comes to any level, I'm going to get to know you as a person. I don't really too much care about what else somebody else said about you because we're supposed to change daily. We're supposed to evolve. We're supposed to grow. We're supposed to become. You're supposed to trust within yourself that the God that lives accordingly within your soul. If you don't have a content relationship every day, you get an opportunity to build that. And I'm happy to say I have a personal relationship with God. You know, he surrounds me and gives me the people that I need because he know I'm introverted, that comes along on my journey so I can say, hey, I'm having this moment and I just need for you to hear me so I can walk it out. You know, I'm going through this, be it good or bad, I'm able to experience it with someone that can kind of like give me a sense of direction. You know, not it is not always about the celebration, but making sure I'm lining up, like you're saying, staying in your lane accordingly. Like Mishunda, your name will always come across enterprise screen, right? This is a
Mm,
personal thing. And because I know your name, even when we didn't have cars, you
mhm.
never knew that we didn't have cars because you was always on the list because I'm gonna make sure you're good, you know.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
You got stuff to do. And I'm like, she got to have a car. You know, I'm arguing the grounds, you don't even know that I went through some days to ensure when they was like, we don't have cars. But because I knew your name and your relationship and the lives with Sierra and Cynthia and just your name, if you're attached to them, is worthy. You know what I'm saying? For me to go that extra mile to make sure you're good, and that's just how I operate. You know, I want to make sure that we build a culture. We can rewrite the script, regardless as to what we went through. We don't have to live in that moment.
Yes.
Are you willing to elevate? Are you willing to move? Are you willing to put in the work to get to where you want to be? So there's many opportunities people have said to me in the past. This is like, let's go back when I had 5, 4 and under. So I had 5 children, and at one point I had 4 and under, right? And I was like, okay, God, you're funny, but you know, you gave me 2 at one time, but it's you and I. You and I have an understanding. I'm gonna do my best, and I'm gonna charge you with the rest. You told me, you know, you was never leave nor forsake me. So I'm dependent on that. So I will call on you, you know, call on him. You know, there'll be some days, okay, God, I just need you to carry me. Because Demetrius can't even walk this one out. I just want you to carry me. Just get me to the other side, you know, those type things. Um, but when I get into my lane of knowing me as a person, I know that God says, I am that I am, and I can do all things. So they would tell me, going back to the conversation was, you must be a Jamaican or something. You got all these business. I said, I got 5 mouths to feed, and I'm not depending on anyone but God. And God said I can. Do you want to buy this Mary Kay? Or do you want to buy this Avon? You got a choice in the matter, but either you're gonna help me or hinder me, and I'm not allowing you to hinder me. You got a choice in the matter. So over the time, I've always had the entrepreneur mindset because my kids been asked to come here, right? So I got to do whatever it takes to make sure they want to play traveling ball. Okay, let's play traveling ball. Let's go. What sport you want to play? It's not going to be part of we can't have. I can't comes and can. You know, so I believe in making sure we're good. So now if pressing forward, I see everybody with multiple businesses. You know, I said has always been the plan. We are the genuine mindset. Our melon are the, you know, we are those people. We're the inventors. You know, we may not have always gotten the credit for it, but we are those people who started transitioning things. You know, he aligned us to be the head, not necessarily the tail. It's all about the mindset. Transition your mindset. Are you going to grow? Are you going to be empowered? Are you going to educate your mind? Or are you going to keep watching the things before us that's not even bringing significant things to your life? We bring in value. So you got to be around things or people or to bring value. What are you reading? You know,
What are you reading? Yes, that's my
how are
question
you
these
feeding
days.
your brain down to
Yes.
the food choices? I'm not a certified herbalist, but you can call me and I can guarantee you to tell you, I can tell you exactly what you need for your ailment. And you go and try it. I give you 72 hours. It's going to be a game changer for you. It wasn't I who chose that for myself. It was the Most High. Because when the doctors gave up on my baby, and Cynthia can testify, when they gave Ariana back to me and said, we done did all we can do. Take her
Yeah.
home. I said, no, no, no. I became John Q. You're going to give us some fluids. We're going to move forward and pressing forward. There was a team built that educated not just me, we was educating each other. But my baby turned 17 on the 23rd. She was 7 at the time. That was favor from God because he empowered others to give me the knowledge to empower in her. So if it's grown with the root, growing with the seed is the best thing for you. Align your body, get in line. So that's still yet knowing your lane. We gotta get prepared for our next journey. So I'm so excited to be connected to all you ladies. Y'all bring so much value to this team.
I gotta put this connection right there. You just said get prepared for our next journey. But my son,
I'm sorry, stop taking.
But Mishunda, you said something a little while ago, and now here we are. This is that soul work piece in that bridge, because you said something, and it really takes us back to our traumas. Because here I am I'm gonna just say at 30, 35 years old, okay, and I'm beginning to see cycles, things happening that I don't understand. Well, why does keep happening? But you said, but because somebody treated me some kind of way then, and maybe I didn't really have a voice then, but now we're not doing that. That was so 10 years ago. That's not gonna. But what I'm getting at is sometimes we have traumas and things that have affected us, and sometimes it's so subtle. We don't. Maybe it wasn't one huge catastrophic event, but it was a series of abandonments, a series of rejection, a series of, whatever it was. And then we get to a point without even realizing how those things have subtly slanted and affected us. And now we are having to deal with these traumas that we haven't even identified. We haven't thought about it, and we haven't seen it as that. We haven't seen these things as things we need to process and deal with. That's the soul work piece. So, and it's not to go back and and just just kind of make something out of what it was, but honestly look at, no, this happened. We're acknowledging it happened. And I think I write about this in my first book. I think I mentioned something to the effect of sometimes things happen to us that we played a part in, we made decisions and it didn't pan out. Okay. But especially as children, some things happen to us we had no control over. But now here we are at 25, 30, 35, 40, 57, having to, still, and I say that, but I'll be honest, I've been unwrapping. So at 57, y'all talk about free. I'm kind of free. So
hey, come on.
Other issue, because I'm like, what? What I mean? But what I'm saying, we carry these things. And I think those, for me, in my processes, have been a little more difficult. Still got to do it. But where I made a decision and stuff went left, it's like, okay, this is why you did make this. Okay, and I can work that through. But when I've had to go back and unpack those things where I was an innocent child or what have you, and I couldn't do it, those have, this is just my testimony. Those have been a little bit more difficult for me to unpack and unravel. Still got to do it, but I'm just saying. I recognize sometimes how we get to things, don't know why we're doing whatever, and then you have to go back and do that soul work, or you won't get the fullness out of life. You won't deposit. You won't. Not only will you not recognize your sowing gifts, you ain't gonna recognize it. You ain't gonna sow that. Girl, I can't him. I used to do, what was that? Quick stitch. Girl, I can't sew nothing. But if you don't unpack that stuff, you're not gonna leave your fullness. And again, we are sitting here to deposit some things in this earth realm. He didn't send us here just to be cute. He was like, be cute. But I sent you to deposit some stuff with your cute self, girl. Deposit that students.
Okay. Sierra, I have questions.
Listen, me and you, we always got questions. A lot of them.
Did she just drop that on us? She is that you here just to be cute.
You can text me the questions later and we can try to, put our brains together and work it
Let's unpack that. Let's unpack that.
Don't be cute, because this is what we were sitting here to be cute, but along with your cuteness, let's make some deposits.
So I do want to say this, to piggyback off what Mom has said, you know, about freedom. That just reminds me, Mishunda, of you know, you were speaking this over yourself, and I'm not sure if you remember this, but you were speaking this over yourself, but then it was a period of time where I was going through some stuff and you kept speaking it over me, but you talked about being weightless. So that phrase just popped up in my mind. And sometimes I feel like, you know, that there is work that of course we need to do, but sometimes being weightless, being free, I believe that's also a choice. Like I'm choosing not to deal with this no more. You are not going to disturb my peace. Like I had to tell somebody one day, you don't pay rent over here in South Park. So, okay, go with God, and I'm gonna stay right here and keep my peace. So, bye. I mean, sometimes it's a choice, like, you know, because we are responsible for ourselves. So if someone wakes up and chooses violence, I don't have to interact or respond to that. Okay, you woke up and chose violence today. I'm choosing peace.
they wake up next to me choosing violence. They about to get this violence. They about to get these.
Mishunda, cat hands.
Don't come for me. Please don't do that.
Oh, yeah. Now it's a different story if you waking up next to me and choosing violence. We gonna listen. You might find yourself outside.
You about to get these hot grits.
Al Green moment.
But I still know. So a part of that process is for me to wake up and come to this understanding, like you ladies are saying. I know I have a choice. It's still, I think we arrive at that having done that soul work. I used to, because again, certain things that I see in different situations, and I thought about it, and I said, you know, now if I'm married and every day my husband comes home and I'm sitting by the door in my favorite chair, and every day he walks in, sits down his lunch pail and slap me. Every day this is my thought, you know, I'm like, okay, I'm looking at this. So if this happens every day, and then I realize, I don't like being slapped. I got choices. A, don't be sitting by the door when he comes home, or B, slap him back. But you have, so when I realized, and that has never happened, let me put that disclaimer, it's never happened, but that was just, you know, how I use that. But the point is, I think sometimes we operate in something not realizing that we have choices. When you realize you got options, I used to tell when stuff would break here, either A, we got the money, let's get it fixed. B, we don't have the money to get it fixed, but I can put a Band-Aid on it and it'll limp us through, or C, it stay broke. But we have choices.
Yeah.
And so, you know.
If I may, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ms. Vanessa.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to go back on what Miss Loxie Marie said. I like that. We talked about that a little bit yesterday, but she put a word in that we didn't have in yesterday, was a weightless, the less word. And so people think when it's weightless or fearless or limitless, that you're not going to have any limits, you're not going to have any fear, but what it said, or any weight. You're going to have some weight, but you can have less weight. And you need to determine what weight you're going to carry, because as we're in this walk and as we're in this world, in this system, the Most High is going to give us some weight to see, can you handle this? But he's not going to give us too much. But we put a lot of weight on us. So we're not going to be in this system weightless, but we're going to have less weight. But you need to determine, like as Cynthia said, what weight am I willing to carry? You know, am I willing to carry that slap? Am I willing to carry this chair? You know, what am I willing to do? So that's some things we need to look at. What in our life that we need to let go of, that's going to take so much weight off of us. But we're going to have something to determine, okay, this weight that I got here, I can carry this. and I could do whatever I need to do it. So when we talk about those less, I hear a lot of people saying, I'm fearless. No, you can't be fearless, because if you're fearless, that means you don't fear the Most High. You're not fearless. You have less fear in areas, but you should not be fearless in this world, because you've got to fear him. People say, I'm limitless. No, you're not limitless, because if you're limitless, I love to fly like a bird right now. I cannot do that. So we do have limits, but you have to have less limitations on yourself. And so we bring that on ourselves. We need to think about that when we use those words. So I appreciate that, Loxy Marie and Mishunda, y'all guys came up with weightless, because that's one of the words I'm gonna use in my lessless. So yeah.
Danielle, I see your hand, Danielle, because we just yapping.
Oh no, I didn't. I just, because I'm busy, so I just wanted to let you know I wanted to add, you guys reminded me of the scripture that I've been on, like in Bible study, where Jesus says, come to me all who are weary and heavy laden, for I will give you rest. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. So there's still, obviously, there's still a yoke and there's still a burden. But what that means, the revelation I got, because, you know, that's a common scripture. And I was like, okay, so that means if I'm facing something and it's heavy and it's it causes me to be weary, then going to Jesus, going to his way of thinking, going back to his instructions. I kind of came off a little hard the other day, because I was like, you know, Jesus is telling you he's there to comfort you and give you peace, but he's also telling you when he comes, he's gonna whisper in your ear and say, remember what I told you to do. That's why you're, you know, weary. That's why. So like, to me, it's just like going back to basically to the drawing board to become weightless. And like, well, how is Jesus, how is his burden easy and his yoke light? What can I do to have that? Because a lot of people say that, but then when they get back up again, they're still weary and they're still heavy laden. So that means that there's still something, like you guys say, there's still some type of work. There's still something that we need to do to have that lightness and that weightlessness. That's what I just wanted to bring that up, because that's what it made me think of.
I'm gonna have to put some shoes in here by this
Absolutely.
so I can throw them at you. That was powerful. It's still a yoke, but it's easy. It's still a burden, but it's light.
Right.
Well, I gotta go get me some shoes to throw.
I want some of them flags that Mishunda and Loxy Marie be dancing with. They be flowing.
Yep.
We need some of them to do what they talking about. Girl, get the shoes and the flags and.
Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna use something. Oh my goodness. Mishunda, you the inspiration for all of this going on this morning. What else you want to share with us? Because you know what time it is. About time for the pot.
It's about time for the pot. It's got to be about time for the pot. It's so many things. This has been such a good discussion. And I remember when I saw it was coming up here during this month, I was like, well, this is the wrong month. Why am I in April? I'm supposed to talk about child abuse. That's my thing. That's the thing I'm supposed to talk about. But no, this was the conversation that God wanted me to have. And there's so many things I want to talk about that were shared here. One, I want to go back to something Danielle said, because it was so important to me, because we are the same. We are so kindred here that anybody who sees this later and is trying to determine their value or trying to be okay with their value and all of the other things, we're quirky. I'm gonna be this one. Y'all gonna see me riding around with balloons in my car. I'm gonna wear a fox head hat. That's gonna happen. I'm gonna love these pancakes. I'm gonna do a lot of stuff. I'm just gonna be goofy, and I'm gonna be okay with that. That's part of my value. That's part of my value, is me actually being my whole authentic self. They cannot receive the fake me, and those who do receive the fake me, want the fake me, demand the fake me, I do not have time for them. It is a burden to try to upkeep what people want you to do. Let me just do what I was created to do. Let me just be how I want to be. Then also to the point of value, and I'm just going to throw a bunch of stuff in here so we can wrap up. Also to the point of value, we all know and love and serve the Most High God. However, we all choose to do that, because I know there's some different thoughts in here or whatever, not necessarily different, but different upbringings, and let's say that. But I think a lot of your value comes from knowing your creator. And if we don't say that, then we will have done the audience a disservice. So you can say confidently who you are, whose you are, what you are supposed to be, what your lane is, and what your worth is when you know who created you.
Right.
When you know who holds your future, when you know who wrote the book, when you know honestly, you ain't writing nothing, you just living out the pages.
Right. Right.
I'm just living out these pages because it was finished before I got here. That thing right there will show you your value when you get a hold of that. When I realized that the abuse was part of my story and it was necessary and it actually added some luster to my value, baby, won't trade none of them 8 years. Won't trade none of them 8 years. When you realize the pain was actually part of the purpose. You'll hear that in the church and you think it's trite until you actually get it. When you really understand that the pain actually, when you let it do what it was designed to do, not what the enemy designed it to do, not what the abuser designed it to do, not what they purpose, but what God intended, because it's not exactly what happened in the natural. It is what God is manifesting in your spirit, man. That's the part that feeds the value. And then the last thing I want to say, I have to speak to the topic of weightlessness, because that is intrinsic to who I am. You're absolutely right. We can't be fearless, because we must fear God. There will all be, you can't be, in a sense, you really can't be limitless, because if you don't have no limits, you can fall off the face of the earth. We've all seen the meme that some limits are there to save you. They are there to protect you. What we're talking about when I'm talking about being weightless, I'm talking about not carrying no more than you need to. When we talk about weightless, I'm talking about gravity. I'm talking about the ability to float up. I'm talking about nothing holding you down. Nothing holding you down. And when you realize that them people talking bad about you ain't a weight, when you realize people not supporting you ain't a weight, then when you realize that not having the money you think you need is not a weight, meaning that it can't actually hold you down, that it can really just propel you up. Them bad talking you, not supporting you, not calling you, not loving you, actually is supposed to be the hot wind that puts you in the air. Baby, you weightless. Then you weightless. That's it. That's all I got. We can go to the pot.
Again, y'all be showing up. I got to figure out so y'all can see this.
Today with her words and this hair.
Listen. At 8:15, when I'm rolling out the bed, y'all get the wig. It's going down. I do not have time. You know, this natural people lie when they tell you that natural hair is easy. It is not. It is a work.
It can be a process sometimes.
It is a process. Hunte.
Well, I wish I did have my calendar in here. I don't know where it is. I got a lot going on in here.
That's all good.
But I'm hearing some recurring words and themes from like January and February, I believe, when we talked about knowing whose we are. We have to know who he is. So all of this, and so a lot of these is boiling down, and it's helping us go through our soul work. But you know, we can go on forever, but it is that time to get to the pot. I'm gonna say this before I forget, because I don't know what's in this pot. And so it may throw us for a loop. So, but I want to say this before I forget, go to the website, www.starcommunity.online, because there is a link, I think, for everybody. I think Demetrius, yours may go to your Facebook page. I'm gonna have to check it. And Danielle, when you said yours today, because you know I did the links a while back, and when I get off the Zoom, there's like 900 things waiting for me over there. But Sierra, somebody's going to text me and remind me to check the link, because I tried to put a link with everybody's name so they can get to each of you. So come to the Star Community, just check out some of the other things. But then I've tried to have a link to every one of the Me Time contributors, the calendar contributors. May 20th, we'll be at Rose Hill doing soup for the asset-based community soul. Chef Jeffrey's going to be providing, it may not be soup, it may be, I don't know what it's going to be, but a little refreshment. And we're going to use the power of storytelling to help build community. So that's May 20th. And on June 13th, we're going to be at Rose Hill doing Baby, I'm a Star with Style, a show of fashion and fortitude with Nicole Simpkins collection. And I meant to send the link to her to see if she wanted to come on with us today. And I forgot. So yeah, go online and embrace Pangea. So you know what we need to do? I did set up the virtual pot, Mishunda, like you suggested. One thing, and I need to promote it because I wanted to make sure it works. And I'll send it to y'all so y'all can click in and let's make sure it works before we put out there to the whole world. But you know what I would like for us to maybe put out there? Things my mother never told me, and let people put that in the pot. I know, look, me and Sierra could probably fill it up because I do. I didn't tell her what nobody told me, probably. And here we all got to work out. So I thought about that. So I think maybe we'll look at that theme and maybe attach some to the pot and kind of start going through those things my mother never told me. So y'all can tell me what you think about that. Okay, we're in the pot. Okay. Okay, here's the bag. These are the ones that we've already done. I usually just sit that down in there. I don't know what those are. I haven't balled them up, so I'm gonna leave that alone. And stir the pot. Let's see what's in here. Why do we have people worry about how we live and where we live? They say, why do we have people? Because they haven't done their soul work and they're not in their lane. Okay. Anybody? Anybody else want to add something to that? Somebody got something to say? We ain't did soul work. We ain't get anybody. Okay.
Like people do not understand the blessing in minding the business that pays them.
Okay.
That's literally that's just all I have. And sometimes I feel like some people are so concerned about what you got going on because their life is such a mess and a muck, they just need a distraction. And because they see you trying to do the best that you can and be all that you can be, and they actually see the God in you, they like, oh, let me pick on this person. And pick at this, wear them down. And then eventually they'll be on the same level that I'm on, and we can sit here and be miserable together.
I think too, because that's good. And I think too, sometimes it's easier. Okay, and I'm going to mess up the scripture totally, but sometimes it's easier to try to deal with the beam or to try to deal with the stick or the little splinter, the speck in somebody else's eye.
You got a whole beam in your eye. So you can't see because of that beam, but you worried about me. Oh, okay.
So sometimes it's easier to put your effort in you can help somebody else do something, but it takes that soul work. It takes that soul work to deal with your own stuff. I'm just saying. Danielle, you saying something? Because you're on mute, but I saw you light up.
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that was an easy one. We're gonna do number 2. Why is it that the good women get stuck with the bad men?
So today's session is brought to you by 2 words: soul work, or 1 word, soul work. Because all these questions is coming down to soul work. You keep ending up with them raggedy men because you won't do your soul work. If you would do your soul work, you would stop picking these wrong men. So today's lesson is brought to you by soul work.
Wow.
Can somebody start a soul work organization?
Wow.
Oh gosh. Okay. So this is a realization that I have come to personally. Yeah, the soul work, which is why, and whatever your definition of soul work is, whether you choose to do a combination of just studying your Bible and praying, studying your Bible and going to therapy, you do you journal, whatever it is, because I think sometimes when it comes to soul work, people think that they have to stick to this specific routine or look at what somebody else doing. That do what works for you as far as that soul work is concerned. But I know for me personally, it definitely has been like a soul work thing. And then also, along with that soul work, I do believe that helps change your mindset. And as you're continuing, because what you think as a man thinketh, so is he. So if I continuously am saying that I am attracting the wrong men and then not doing my soul work at the same time, that's what's going to be my reality. And for me personally, I have had to change not only my mindset, but then look at myself and say, clearly there's some good men out there, because I am seeing great marriages. Clearly they are somewhere. So my thing is also, where are they? And let me go put myself in that atmosphere, because association determines destination. If I'm going to sit here and continue to roll in the poop, I'm out here smelling like poop, flies like poop, so I'm bringing in the flies. So until I clean myself up with said soul work, but then also put myself in situations where, okay, I'm being with people who want to be where I desire to be. So so if I see some awesome married women, they're out here flourishing in life and in their marriage, let me get around. What? Okay, so what you doing? And help me.
Help me. Girl, that sounds like a sermon. Who preaching tomorrow?
Apparently Sierra is preaching
No,
tomorrow.
Look, Mishunda, you preach and I'll just do the interpretive dance.
You do the interpretive dance to that word. So I'm being funny when I say, but it's true, ain't it? All these questions, everything's been coming back down to the soul work, which comes down to what? The quote, which is, I ain't confused about my lanes nor my value. And if I know my lanes and I know my value, then I'm not about to keep accepting these bad dudes, or, these dudes who don't propel me forward in life. Heck, they might be fine. They just not what I want. But she did say bad. These bad relationships, these bad men. But this is what I want to add to the soul work conversation. I think a lot of times, I could be wrong, this is my own perception, that we take the idea of soul work as this internal work, but we forget that there has to be external action.
Mm-hmm.
So I look back, I journal, I do all these things, but then I have to know my value and recognize and say, I'm not going to accept this. So I've done the work. I recognize I don't want this. I've got to be willing to look said person in the face and say, this is not what I want.
Yeah.
I am better than this.
Yeah.
That is actually hard.
That is hard. I wholeheartedly agree with that. That is hard because, again, I think I said this earlier, I can only control what I can do. So I'm not saying once you're done your work and you're putting yourself in these respective circles that the bozos still ain't gonna come, because again, I can attract someone, but then also I am making a choice to allow you into my space. So yes, someone may be bad or bad for you or whatever, but you have made a choice to allow this person into your space, to give them your number, to sit up in your house and eat up your food, run up your electricity, run up your water bill, drive around in your car and use up your gas, so they can go see somebody else that, they said is just a friend, but really they ain't your friend, whatever the case. So you are making a choice to allow, so in order for you to stop making certain choices, you have to do the work and then also make the external decisions that will reap the thing that you want to reap the things that you want to see.
And let me say this so that it's on the table and is real clear. Doing said work means, because sometimes we are attracting bad relationships because we putting out bad stuff. And I just want to be real honest about that. You over here judging him and saying that this ain't the right relationship for me, blase, blase, squad, whatever, but you brought some junk in here anyway. You brought a whole lot of mess in here anyway. So in that soul work, make sure that, you might, it's one thing to want a king, but if you're going in there acting like a tramp,
Yeah.
What you mad about?
Yeah. Because I was going to say, sometimes it's not that they're a bad person. It just may not be the right fit for you, because I know the scriptures in Hebrews, and I don't hear us using that scripture a lot when it comes to marriage and relationships, but it talks about provoking one another to good works.
Listen,
And that is key for me in relationships in particular. As a matter of fact, a few years ago, I had a friend of mine tell me, she said, Cynthia, she said, because I write this in my first book, that one situation with my first marriage was that we were young. I didn't know who I was, and I said, I didn't know who I was. He didn't know what he was getting. I did not even realize all of the God in me and that apostolic grace, all of that. No, I knew nothing. And then as I had begun to, I was a young mom and home, and I had my prayer time, and I mean, stuff was happening, and I was getting in all this stuff, and he was like, whoa. So I realized I didn't know who I was. He didn't know who he was getting. And so a friend of mine said to me, after my second divorce, she said, well, Cynthia, she said, maybe, yeah, the first time the problem was you didn't know who you were. She says, but I can see clearly now the problem this time is that you do. So in knowing your lanes, you will know what you will take and accept and receive and what you won't. And sometimes people are good actors, you'll be into it a little bit. And I think sometimes too, as women, let me just speak for me, because I have some pretty good clarity about who I am. And I sit back, I do a lot, and I'll go way to the back, but it's a whole lot of times I'll be in situations and I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, I know how much of this I'm gonna take. I know how long, okay, it won't be bad. It is, so I have a pretty good sense. And sometimes what I've recognized for me is, because I do have a pretty good sense, I know I can work with, I can handle it. We're going to do it or we're not going to do it. But sometimes when that is sort of, I'm going to use the word taken advantage of, or somebody may think, oh yeah, she's just going to take it, or she's just going to, no, we're talking about it. We're giving you grace and space, but don't be confused. I'm not confused about my lanes or my values. So you can't get it right. We can adjust accordingly. We can govern ourselves accordingly. So, the nutshell of this is, sometimes the situation, it can be a problem because we don't know our value. But then sometimes when things break up or go away, process it, but it could be that you have learned your value. So just continue to work and continue the process. And I'm going to say this, I wasn't going to say it, so this keeps coming up. I don't even know if Sierra knows it, but I've actually been working on something, and I had mentioned to Kelly, Sierra, I'm working on actually the Soul Work Cafe, a stage play. Yeah. So yes, and
love it.
Interesting. So I think this was a sign unto me today too, to go ahead and finish that up, because it's yeah. All right. So I love all of you so dearly. I don't know if Vanessa or Demetrius in particular, or Danielle, because me, Sierra, and Mishunda, and I think this is kind of what happens too when we together. But with so much wisdom, and I appreciate you all. You make me better. You all make me better. And there's a couple of young ladies at work, I tell them they make me better. Boy, I think about them girls, and some days I've at work, I just know I'm finna cuss. And I think about those young ladies and I go, wait a minute, straighten up your back. You gotta be better because of them. And you all make me better. So y'all don't keep my cuss level low. Okay. Vanessa, Demetrius, y'all want to say anything before we hang up? Danielle?
When I was listening and just processing everything, because it's actually hitting close to home today about soul work, because that's what I've been doing, and especially from childhood. And I realized, like, it takes courage. it takes courage to actually really do it, not just to face it or know that it's there. That's the first step of not denying it, but to actually work through it, meaning you gotta, like while you're working through it, you can't just bury it. You can't just be like, I'm just gonna busy myself and do something else and forget that that happened. It takes courage. So that's the thing that I feel like if you feel like you're ready to do that soul work, for anybody who might be watching, pray for courage first.
Wow.
Or wisdom on how to navigate the process, but don't turn back from the process. So I was thinking about this early, but I didn't want to. This morning, I do every day this month. I'm going to do love talk instead of just Monday through Friday. I do it on the weekend. So today, God led me to when Jesus went to the garden Gethsemane. Never knew how to do that, but the garden at the Mount Olivet, and how he sweated blood, which is actually a physical condition that you have when you're under great distress. And but he still went through, he still did it. He still did this. To me, it's like that's soul work. Because even though he's a spiritual being, he's Christ, but he came as flesh and he had to face those fears to do what he had to do. So it's now I'm like, oh, it's no coincidence that God had me to talk about that this morning. And now we're talking about soul work and having the courage to do what it is that you were brought to this earth to do. And that's exactly what Jesus did.
That's good, Daniel.
Okay, Iman, you got something else?
Yeah. And when we're doing that soul work, sometimes we work on different things. When we get to where we're going, we kind of slack off because we think we're there, we've arrived. But when you do that soul work and you get there, you hold on to it with everything that you have.
Yeah.
Like when you get that wisdom, you hold on to the scriptures that get wisdom and you hold on, you do not let her go. Mm-hmm. And so that's the thing with soul work. Don't get complacent. People get to this healthy state, say, oh, I'm healthy now. I can go eat potato chips and cookies now because I'm healthy. And you go revert right back to it. So like Miss Loxie Marie was saying, change your geographic location. If you got your soul work, don't go back to where you used to be thinking you strong now. I can go on back in the same old pool of mud I was digging. Keep it moving. So
I'm a Baptist preacher. We done closed this thing out 3 times. Y'all better quit now. All right, we done closed 3 times. Y'all better get off this thing.
Good. It's good. No, that's good now. You need all this.
I'm telling you. Did you come? You got something else you need to say? Because I'm telling you, y'all make me better. Y'all make me better.
Listen, oh my word, Cynthia, that's exactly what I was clicking the button for. This has been so empowering today. It was necessary. We touch on a lot of things, more so staying in your lane, and that's an important thing because I have multiple lanes. And real quick, I had someone tell me, you can't do this and you can't do that, and you can't do life insurance, and you can't bake cakes. I said, sir, with all due respect, I said, I've raised 5 children. They have multiple personalities. My God, tell me I can do anything, because he was so grateful to me, blessed me with 2 at one time. That was challenging within itself. So the limits you trying to put me in doesn't work for me. Just because you can only focus on one thing at one time, you speaking for self. I said, I know my lane, know what lane you need to ride with me in, and we won't have no confusion. You can't try to cover all my boundaries. So just to hear someone else on the same path, same track, but I can only do that because I know who I am and who I belong to. Secondly, the soul. I think Cynthia and I, we've talked about this a couple of times, but just dealing with things from your past and having to uncover and go through the process and knowing how to heal to become better and not get stuck. This is what I try to explain to my children when we're talking about depression and anxiety and things of that nature. Depression is, for me, living in the past and trying to unravel unchanged things that already done took place. We can't go backwards. Anxiety is trying to move forward and anticipating things or trying to act them out before they even happen. But you got to learn how to embrace the moment. That's your presence. Once you're there embrace those things. So knowing how to live in the moment, live in your gift, and allow God. And that's me preaching to the choir, preaching to my soul. Because I too been through a lot, and I just try not to get stuck in those things and try to, whenever I'm in a situation, be a moment of empowering, of sharing, to give. God don't give me all this knowledge to hold on to. It does me no service to be just one person with a lot of knowledge, because no one's going to ever think like me if I don't begin to share it. So when I gain something and it's something that's going to benefit others, I'm quick to tell, hey, it's almost big as a sale. Everybody want to catch the sale, but I want you to catch this knowledge of growth. You know, don't be so steadfast to stay stuck. Sometimes we got to know how to move, and more importantly, when to move. And my biggest question, and I'm going to end on this, was we talk about Most High God and whomever you choose to serve to develop that spot for growth, and knowing that you're not all of the beginnings. There's someone higher than yourself. Is to know when and to know how to maneuver. And my thought on that was to say, I'm losing my train because I got so much I want to share. Knowing yourself without somebody ever forcing you to become who they are. If you like red, stand on that you like red, regardless what other color shades they come out, pink with a little bit of orange and a tap of red. Know that you like the solid color of red. Don't allow anyone to change that within yourself. You got to be honest with yourself and hold that value, and knowing your value. This has been such an amazing, oh my gosh, it's been a God moment. It's been so uplifting and necessary. So you ladies, thank you for all your wisdom. And I am just so almost in tears. I want to shout, I want to throw the shoe, and I want to just hug everybody. This has been such a phenomenal segment, and I love you all dearly, and I'm looking forward to spending more time. So yes.
Love you
So
back.
this is the fourth closing. My Shonda, say your quote, and I'm hitting in. Say it.
I am not confused about my lanes nor my value.
Bye.